All right, welcome everybody. It's Ken here with Binary Pro Strategies. This is going to be a special recap here. I'm going to be going over a 2-week period of time instead of a single week. We're going to go all the way back to the 5th, and we're going to cover up till this last Friday, which is the 12th. As some of you may or may not know, I think it was on Thursday or Friday of the 4th and the 5th, I actually was dealing with COVID. Had to be hospitalized, so I really haven't been in chat all week. I've dipped in a little bit here and there, but no consistent trading, so really no trades for this last week going up to the 12th, but I was able to trade from the 31st on to the 5th, and we're going to go through those stats and get caught up with everything. I just want to say thank you for everybody for your nice thoughts and prayers. I appreciate it. I am recovering. And the plan is to be back in the chat full time starting tonight, which is the 15th. And remember, we do have a holiday coming up tomorrow, but it looks like the chat room is going to be open to about 11 a.m. tomorrow. It shuts down, no trading tomorrow night, and then we'll resume first thing on Tuesday. All right, so anyway, we'll do some Sunday night trading, but nonetheless, let's go through the stats, and then we'll go through our lesson today, because I really want to talk about the deception of what I call indicator stacking. I see it all the time in my 40 years of trading. I continue to see it, and it's really a shame, because a lot of people really don't understand what they're really doing when they're using indicators and they're trying to stack them on top of each other. So hopefully this will be insightful, and hopefully you start looking at things a little bit more logically when you start trading in the methods that you use. But just going from the week of the 31st to the 5th, you can see I added a little bit more stats in here. I'm showing you the number of trades in the morning and the number of trades that we're getting at night, and then the winning stats based on each one of those for each one of these pairs. Okay, and you can see they're consistently consistent. That is because this is pattern based. This is not an indicator based approach. This is a pattern based approach, and pattern based approach is the best thing you're going to find when it comes to trading, because patterns are repeatable, and they will continue to be repeatable as long as you're looking at the right patterns, right? And I've identified those patterns in my 40 years of trading. I've identified those patterns, and they will not only have they held up, but they will continue to hold up. Okay, so confidence is important when it comes to trading. The tools, the methods you use, you have to have confidence in them, and that's why it's important that y'all are using the right tools and the right methods, and you're not just throwing things on your charts because somebody said it's a good thing to do, and we'll talk about that. But nonetheless, first trade of the day this week of the 31st to the 5th was 100% on the first wins. What that means is that of these four pairs, whichever setup develops right after 9 a.m. Eastern is the trade that I take. Could be in the Aussie, could be in the pound, could be in the euro, could be in the, it really doesn't matter. All right, so whatever the first trade is that I'm getting ready to take, those are the stats that I'm showing. Now, it is possible that the euro, I may end up taking, I could have two setups at the same time, and I can end up taking the euro, and somebody may end up taking an Aussie, and I can lose on my first trade, but they can win on the first trade. So keep in mind, sometimes you do get two that's set up at the same time, and based on whichever one I feel a favorite in is the one I'm going to go through, but there's no magic in it. All right, I have my favorite pairs. All right, and so that's typically what I do. But in this case, it was pretty straightforward, and we did have several that came in. In fact, we had a day, I believe, all four of them came in at the same time, and all four of them won. All right, so that being said, morning first percentage wins were 100% in the morning and also in the evening. As far as CB, I started kind of winding down as I started doing less trading going into the end of the week, but still a decent week in CB, coming in at 43.52. Once again, folks, this is not trading advice. Do not think that you're going to be able to achieve these kind of returns. I've been doing this for 40 years. I've been doing this for a long, long time. All right. And these trades, when it comes to CB, There's a lot of setups for CB. Some I take, some I don't. And a lot of times it's subjective. And so don't think that this is some sort of mechanical approach to trading, because it isn't. And that kind of approach does not work. All right. So once again, do not think just because you're a CB trader, all of a sudden you're going to start making tons and tons of money. It does give you a huge edge in the market. Most people that go from my core strategy to the CB method never turn around and go back because of the power of CB. But once again, keep in mind, only for educational purposes only. These are unusual results because I've been trading a long, long time. But some people do better than I do, and some people don't do as well as I do. But one thing I can promise you is the more time you put into it, the better and better you're going to get, and the more profitable. I have quite a few students now that are going into it full time based on my methods, so I'm really excited about that and happy for them, because the idea is I'm here to teach you how to trade, not rely on me as a trader. That gets you absolutely nowhere. You want to be an independent trader, and the idea is to turn you into an independent trader to where you make your own decisions and you're not listening. You're not watching the trades that I'm making, but you're making your own decisions. That's when you're going to have true independence. All right, and that's true for anybody. So also not a signal provider, because once again, you get into the dependency mode, and that is not going to help anybody in their long-term objective. And the idea is when I'm working with students, I'm looking for students that are dedicated, that do want to go into this full time and put in the time and the work in order to become successful. It's not easy. Everybody doesn't do it. Everybody doesn't want to do it. A lot of people don't want to work very hard. They want everything easy, and they tend to get those kind of results, which is typically losing. All right. So I'm just being a straight shooter with you guys and letting you know that this is the best method out there. I can't think of anything better. I've been told that everybody that's seen it, everybody that's actually using it and working with it, and it is good, and it's going to hold up. So I have a lot of confidence in that, and I have a lot of confidence in sharing it with you, and I know that I can help you become a more successful trader. But I want to talk about something that's real important, and I call it indicator stacking, and you've all seen it before. You've seen the charts where you have all kind of indicators on people's charts. You know, they've got the Bollinger Bands and the moving averages, and they got the stochastics, and they got all kinds of crazy things. And for some reason, there's this assumption that the more indicators you stack on top of each other, the more accurate a signal you're going to have. And that's usually just the opposite. All you're doing is you're putting more restriction on the market. And the more restriction you put on the market, less likely is something's going to be able to hold up, move it into the future, particularly some sort of indicator that's optimizable. So question is, what do I mean by optimizable? Some of you know what I mean, but optimizable indicator would be something like as simple as a simple moving average. You may go back and find out if you use the 14-day moving average and you bought and sold every time price crossed it, you would make money. Problem with that, I promise you, you carry it ahead 30 days and it falls apart, because now you realize you should have been using the 17-day move average or the 5-day moving average. The problem is, folks, the problem with that is you never know. It's always going to change, and as long as it's optimizable, it's not going to hold up in the future. So think about that for a minute. So if you're stacking indicators, you're stacking a Bollinger Band or a moving average or stochastics, why would you want to stack indicators? An indicator is only as good as if it holds up on its own, all right? Not by putting two of them together. And the analogy I use is like a car that's not running well, so you put a broken spark plug in it thinking it's going to work better. And then you put another broken spark plug in it thinking it's going to work even better, because you have two broken spark plugs. Problem is, if the car's going to run better, those spark plugs have to be good. They have to be able to hold up on their own merit. And the problem with indicators is none of them hold up on their own merit, all right? The only thing that's going to hold up and be consistent are patterns. It's not going to be indicators, because indicators are optimizable, and that's not the way the markets work. So why are you stacking indicators? Why are people trying to filter out trades? Why are they trying to use Bollinger Bands and moving averages and stochastics on top of patterns? Because all you're doing is you're throwing something broken into something that's already working. And I say that because I've seen students tell me, well, Ken, I'm still looking at this and I'm still looking at that. And it just doesn't make sense when you think about it, because if it's so good, indicator's so good, it should be able to hold up on its own. You don't need my pattern. You should be able to just trade that stochastic or that Bollinger Band and make money, okay? And if you can't do that, then there's something broken, right? So why throw something broken into something that's working? So indicators don't work. Stacking doesn't work. And the other thing I see a lot of is I see people trade like they want to watch. Well, if the monthlies, they do time frame stacking. Well, if the monthly's going up, daily's going up, 4 hours going up, then I'm going to be a buyer on the 5 minutes, whatever the case might be. But have they ever really thought about what they're doing? What they ended up doing is they're not buying on the low of any move. They're buying on the very high of the move. And the very high of the move is you don't have much thrust. Most of your thrust, most of your momentum, most of your better setups are going to be on the very beginning of the move. So why are you stacking time frames? It doesn't make any sense. That 5 minute movement has nothing to do with what had happened over the last hour. In fact, most of your moves that are counter to that are going to be the ones that make money. It would make more sense to say the monthly is going up, so I want to be a seller now on the dailies. Or the dailies are going up, I want to be a seller now on the 5 minutes. That makes a lot more sense to me than saying that I'm going to go, I'm going to stack time frames, and I'm only going to trade in the direction of what they call, quote, the trend. Okay? Another misconception, and we'll cover that some other time. But the trend is not your friend. All right? So that being said, I don't have a whole lot of win to get into too much this week, so I want to keep it kind of short. But I want to talk about indicator stacking. Throw out the indicators, folks. If you want to keep playing with them and keep using them, all you're going to do is end up just losing more and more money. And eventually you'll understand that the only way to trade is going to be based on patterns, what I call behavioral patterns. And I can show you what those patterns are. But that being said, planning on being in chat all this week. Looking forward to coming back and doing a little bit of trading. Mr. Trading. Last week, just kind of going over the charts, looked very good. Also, as of now, or as of the last several weeks, I have been throwing in the daily setup. So for those that like to put on a trade in the evening and let it expire the following day, if you're on my email, I do a recap of this video, and you'll see that there's a link in there. You can look at the results for the dailies as well. That's something, if you sign up even for the trial, I'm throwing those in as free as well. So whether you're trying the $50 trial to try to get into just a basic idea of what we're doing in the live chat room, you're also going to get the daily setups every night for free. And that's something that we're just throwing in right now. And of course, all other members get the daily setups as well. All right, I think you're going to be impressed with the dailies. The dailies are really they're surprising me, to be quite honest with you, because I'm a very short-term trader. But the dailies are based off some very strong patterns that is only available in NCB and Crystal Ball, and we're starting to implement those in the dailies, and they look very good. So anyway, that's available free now if you become a trial member or if you buy a package. So anyway, that's going to be it. I wish everybody a great trading week. Once again, thank you everybody for your patience. Sorry I'm a little late in getting this out, but I just didn't have the energy to get it done. But we should be back on track. Should be having our first trade of the day coming up next week. Monday is going to be first trade of the day. Now tomorrow, once again, it closes early because of President's Day holiday. But we will be trading Sunday night in our normal chat room. And as everybody knows, Sunday nights are one of my best nights. So if you're a trader or you're not with us, I would certainly consider looking at Sunday nights, because there's a lot of really nice smooth movement on Sunday nights and a lot of great opportunities. So everybody take care. Any questions, you can always go to my website, binaryprostrategies.com. Shoot me an email. I'll be glad to answer those questions for you. And until next week, everybody have a great trading week and stay safe.